What's up, Tricology family? Welcome back to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. As last week, we did take a break for the 4th of July weekend, but we are back, and I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend. Hope everyone stay safe and no one do some crazy stuff. So, well, you kind of expect some crazy stuff all the time, but at least if y'all safe and not injured or anything, that's a good thing. So, we got a lot of news to go. Well, not a lot, but a few things to talk about in our mainstream news. And we got not one, not two, not three, but four movie reviews to go over in today's episode. So let's get into our mainstream news. First thing we're going to talk about is Deadpool Wolverine is projected for a record-breaking R-rated opening. So let's look at the current top 5 for the biggest R-rated openings of all time. So at number 5, you got The Matrix Reloaded, which opened to 91.7 million in its opening weekend. Joker with Joaquin Phoenix opened to 96.2 million. It Chapter 1 opened to 123.4 million. Deadpool 2 opened up to 125.5 million. And then the very first Deadpool opened to 132.4 million. So, we just have to wait and see how Deadpool Wolverine does in its opening weekend. And could this be in the top 5? So we just have to wait and see. Now, going into Inside Out 2, it has now become the 5th biggest anime film of all time. So, let's look at the previous top 5 in terms of animated films. So, like I mentioned before, it did beat out Incredibles 2, which was $1.24 billion. At number 4 is Frozen, which came in at $1.28 billion. The Super Mario Brothers climb up to $1.36 billion. Frozen 2 climbed up to $1.45 billion, and sitting at number 1 is the live action anime reboot of The Lion King that came out in 2019, had climbed up to $1.66 billion. Now, with Inside Out 2's climb, not only did it beat out Incredibles 2, but it is now the highest grossing Pixar film of all time. You got to clap it up for that, man. So, Inside Out 2 is making history. Now, Twisters. We have our first reactions, and it's a surprisingly strong. So let's read through these tweets and see what people are saying about the latest sequel to Twisters. The first one comes from John Brown TV. Says, Twisters is beautifully shot, heartfelt story woven into taper of great old-fashioned summer blockbuster film. It is both compelling drama and rip-roaring adventure with dynamic performances from Daisy Edgar-Jones and Glenn Powell, and code that is sure to be go down in a storm. That's pretty good there. Next one we got from Andrew J. Bullock, and he says, the Twister movie is one of the best reboots I have seen. A modern blockbuster executed without throwing out the clutch devices overused in Hollywood today. Similar enough to the OG in tone, but also totally different. Great plot, so impressed with it. Nearly a perfect 4.5 out of 5. That's pretty good there. Next one comes from Aya Sandwell. Says, the story leaves something to be desired, but Twisters absolutely delivers where it matters, a huge scale. Thrilling set pieces, Diggy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell are eagerly the lead duo, but it's Brendan Powell who steals every scene in it. All right, we got 3 actors praised so far. Next will come from Mrs. B Reviews saying, Twisters is exactly what one expects from a disaster flick, not more, not less. Adrenaline fueled action, a predictable yet effective story, and compelling protagonist elevated by Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell. It is filled its soul and value purpose of it entertaining its target. All right, pretty good there. And we got a last one here saying, coming from Emily V. Morales says, if you want a great summer blockbuster this year, Twisters movie more than you has you covered. Great fun, led by a charming duo of Edgar Jones and Powell. Is also unafraid to take risks. Glad I watched the original before as it need callbacks. I feel this is a better film though. All right, this one saying the second one is better than the first one. We'll just gotta wait and see. And I will be watching that movie next weekend and give y'all my review here on the Tricology News Talk. So be on the lookout for that. Now, here's a question for y'all. Could 2026 be the biggest year in animated history? The last time we had a good year like that was 2019, and that broke a lot of records. Now, let's look at the top 7 here. You had the Lego Movie 2, which opened up to 199 million. We had the first Addams Family reboot animation, which led to 204 million. The Secret Life of Pets 2, which led to a 431 million. How to Train Your Dragon 3 led to a 524 million. Toy Story 4 led to $1.7 billion. Frozen 2 led to 1.45 million, 45 billion, excuse me. And then, of course, the Lion King reboot for 2019 led to $1.66 billion. So, we have to wait and see what 2026 can do. And speaking of that, let's look at the list of what's coming out in 2026. So, we got Frozen 3, Toy Story 5, Aang the Last Airbender, Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, an untitled Pixar film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2, and then the one film that everyone is looking forward to is Shrek 5. Man, I'm telling you, 2026 could be another good year for animated films. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen. So we got like at least 2 years to wait on for that. And then lastly, to talk about our mainstream news is that going back to the Deadpool and Wolverine ticket news, now Deadpool and Wolverine is now on pace to be Fandango's best ticket pre-seller of 2024. It is currently doubling all the other top sellers 2024 titles. Could you know what? We already know that this thing is gonna make $1 billion. But the question is, could it make more? Could it go past that? We don't know. We just have to wait and see. But that's all the mainstream news that we can talk about. Now, let's get into our 4 movie reviews. I try to go quickly as possible as I can. But first thing we're going to be talking about is Despicable Me 4. Now, I never really have any negatives when it comes to the Despicable Me and Minions movie. So, the basic premise of the Despicable Me 4 is that Gru and his family has to go undercover after a villain from the past has escaped from prison and they're looking to take out the Gru family. And while going undercover, they meet a particular neighbor who has idolized Gru and wants to be a villain herself. So, like I said before, never have any negatives towards the Despicable Me movies. This one was definitely another solid entry, and I'm gonna give that one a solid A. So, ain't nothing really negative I can say about it. I had definitely a great time with it. So, and we'll just have to wait until Minions 3, which also what year is gonna come out? Minions 3. Hold up one second. They did put out a year on when it was gonna come out. Uh not until 2027. Damn, we gotta wait 3 years for Minions 3. Damn. But hey, it is what it is. Y'all. But next movie we want to talk about is Maxxine, the latest third and final installment of the X trilogy. And let me tell you something. This was absolutely a fun way to end the X trilogy. This might have been the great slasher trilogy since the first three Scream movies. And I'm not talking about the ones past 4, 5, and 6. We talk about the first three that came out in the '90s. Then they rebooted with Scream 4 in 2011. So we're not gonna go past that far. We talking about the first three, and yeah, not. I'm not saying it's bad or anything because it was definitely good, but if I was gonna rank the S trilogy, so S will be number one, Pearl will be number two, and then Maxie will be down at number three. Like I said, it wasn't bad, it wasn't terrible, but it's just a debate on everything that you saw in those three that type of films. So yeah, because like when you look at the first X movie, it has a definitely feel from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of feel. Pearl, that was definitely going for an Oscar like type of movie, and also you had some musicals in there. You know what I'm saying? So, Maxine, it's just your regular slasher, but it's more of a serial killer invention type genre. So yeah, that's almost like the basic premise on this movie. Like while Maxine is in LA, is in Hollywood trying to be a star, but like her past it comes back to haunt her, and now she's on gets recruited by a couple of two detectives to try to take down this serial killer that's been killing women around Hollywood. And this serial killer is based on a real life butcher killer that's been terrorizing people in the '80s around Hollywood. So yeah, like I said, this was definitely a solid entry and definitely a great way to conclude the X trilogy. So yeah, I'll give this one a B plus. This was absolutely fun. I had fun with it, so y'all definitely should check it out because this is definitely, yeah, so far in my top 5 for the best horror films of 2024. Moving on, Beverly Hills Cop 4, which was titled as Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, which saw the return of Eddie Murphy as the great cop Axel F, and I definitely enjoyed this, and I can say this was definitely better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. But Beverly Hills 1 and 2 still a top tier. So if I had to rate the Beverly Hills Cop movies, the Beverly Hills Cop 4 would definitely be in the middle of that. So you got Beverly Hills Cop 2 for my first ranking, Beverly Hills Cop 2, the first Beverly Hills Cop, then Beverly Hills Cop 4, and then Beverly Hills Cop 3, if I had to rank all 4 movies. So after we have saw what Bad Boys Ride or Die could do, and looking at how Beverly Hills Cop has done, so uh, And like I said before, Rush Hour. Rush Hour 4. We need it. Give it to us. So, with that being said, for Beverly Hills Cop 4, I'm definitely giving this one um, a B plus for that one as well. So you had some legacy characters in there. You got some new characters in there. It definitely flow well within the movie. So yeah, I'm giving this one a B plus. And then lastly to talk about is Longlegs, which stars Nicolas Cage as the title character, who's like this serial killer. And then so the when I watched this movie, this was definitely a '90s throwback to like the serial killer investigation type movies like Seven and Silence of the Lamb. So yeah, if you're into those like type of movies, this was definitely movie for you can watch. It's not scary at all, but it does get you on the edge of your seat when watching this movie. Because the cinematography, the sound design, and also the score would really make this movie really good. The only negative I would say about this movie is that the ending, even though it wasn't good or wasn't bad or terrible, but it just didn't really like hit hard as the way it should be. That's the only negative I would say about that. So as far as for Longlegs, I'll give this one a A minus for that one. So that's all my movie reviews for those 4 movies. So y'all should go definitely check those out. And that's the end of our episode. And if you're watching me on YouTube and or listening to me on YouTube Music, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell when new episodes and videos are uploaded. And of course, if you're listening to me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and don't forget to follow me there as well. And with that being said, this is Trico, and I'm signing off, y'all. Peace.